Hello, hope all is well. Today is Sunday, September the 8th, I believe, 2024, in the morning. Don't know exactly what time it is, but I want to come and talk to you about fear. The fear of the Lord is wisdom. It is wise to fear God. But I'm not talking about as fear as false evidence appearing real. Well, I'm not talking about the fear like you are scared of God. I'm talking about the fear as far as reverencing God. This nation needs to fear the Lord. I really believe if the nation went back to fearing the God, then we wouldn't have what's going on right now, especially political, educational, in the system, and just the unfair treatment of minorities. I don't even like the word minority because minority are the majority. If all the minorities stop supporting businesses that don't support us, then we'll put the fear in them to treat us right. I don't like the feeling of fear. Nobody likes to feel afraid. I happen to be diagnosed with social anxiety disorder, and CPTSD due to some complications with my former employee. And sometimes I wake up in total fear. They said that's normal with people with CPTSD, but I don't like it, and it's not going to be my norm. I'm going to allow the fear to bless me. Fear can bless you. Fear is going to bless me because fear can bless you by allowing you to know what to be afraid of and what not to be afraid of. It is okay to be afraid of a snake inside of your home. That snake is out of its place. Okay? Now, there's a snake at the zoo or a snake out in the wild. There's no need for you to be afraid of, for me to be afraid of it. The snake gonna stay where it's supposed to be. I'm going to stay where I'm supposed to be. And that's how fear blesses me, by me staying where I'm supposed to be. If we put ourselves in situations that causes us to be fearful or afraid, then we've caused our own fear upon ourselves. Fear can save your life. Fear can save me. If I know what to be afraid of, when to be afraid of, it can save my life. Now, if I run into a burning building, I want to say that's crazy. If I run into a burning building, then I'm putting the fear back on me. Now, fear can save my life by me running out of a burning building. Now, I will be willing to endure that fear. That fear will override itself within me to run into a burning building to save someone. Like if it's my parents, my siblings, my children, my immediate family, I would go through heaven, hell, and earth to save their lives. I feel like I'm important, but I feel like for some reason they're more important than me. I don't know if that's healthy or not, but on the for real, I am willing to fearfully give my life to faithfully save my children's lives. Fear can be healthy for me. Fear can be healthy for me because if I'm afraid of getting diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, cancer, or any of these things that the doctors say can take you out. Fear can be healthy for me by my diet. Most illnesses come from inflammation and a poor diet. Fear can be healthy for me by allowing me to eat those things that I'm supposed to eat and discard those things that I'm not supposed to eat. Don't even buy it. The fear of the Lord can bring favor. If we reference God through the fear of God, I have seen and heard people say stuff that literally make me drench. Like I'm scared to even say that because I have fear and reverence for God. I'm not even going to repeat something because I'm afraid of God like that. Like, I don't want God to strike me down or strike me down. I've even heard stuff from the pulpit that brings fear. I'm like, ooh, I don't think God approves of that. Now, I believe that God is bigger than the Bible. I believe God was here before the Bible. God was here throughout the Bible, and God is here after the Bible. Now, I take the Bible seriously, but I do not take it literally. The Bible was written from a white man's perspective. Women back in those days when the Bible was written didn't have too many rights. So if you write the Bible from a black woman's perspective, I believe the Bible would be more conducive to me. I do not fear the Bible. I fear God. Fear is not anything to be afraid of. When you know what to fear, why to fear, when to fear, how to fear, there's nothing to be afraid of. You have the right to fear someone pointing a weapon at you. You should not just stand there and say, pull the trigger. That is unhealthy. In that situation, fear is something to be afraid of. But fear is also something that we don't need to be afraid of. If you see a pile of ants or an ant bed, you have every right to fear stepping on that ant bed because you don't want to be bitten up by those ants. So that type of fear is not anything to be afraid of. While we're talking about ants, ants is automatic negative thoughts. So, and whenever you hear the word ant or think about ants, think about automatic negative thoughts. And that'll keep the ants out of your life, okay? Fear is not a threat. Some people can threaten you with fear. They can say, hey, like say for instance, you tell somebody something in confidence. They say, hey, if you don't do this, that, or that, I'm going to threaten you by exposing you on social media. And you can be afraid of what they're doing, but that's not fear. Fear is not a threat. If someone threatens you, it should not cause fear, even though it will cause fear for some people. But if someone threatens me, the way I am alive now, they have the problem. They have the issue. And I should realize that if there's anything that I don't want to hear again, I should not say it again. Keep it to myself, okay? And fear is not confrontational. Some people, the way they confront people, especially in public, I think is inappropriate. I remember my former employer, when I was supervising a gentleman did something that I felt was inappropriate. I did confront this individual. I don't edit my videos, by the way. You get what you get. Imperfectly perfect. But I did not confront this individual in front of everybody. Now, I have seen other people confront their subordinates in front of everybody. Fear is not confrontational. If they're doing that, then they're trying to prove that they are who they are. Let me give you an example. I had a subordinate under me who was a man, and I believe he felt like he was shorter than what an average man is supposed to be. He was some people may call a little man. So most of the time when he come up on the scene, he would say, I'm a grown-ass man. So one day I went to him privately and I told him, grown-ass men don't go around saying, I'm a grown-ass man, because they know that. So if someone is confronting you publicly, it's because they have the fear. Me, because I know that fear is not confrontation and I'm secure in myself, I don't believe I have ever intentionally confronted any of my subordinates out of fear in front of everybody. Some people confront their subordinates out of fear. because they don't want other people to think that they're weak. I've even had situations where I've already taken care of the situation, but because they didn't hear me publicly take care of the situation, they thought I wasn't doing a good job as a supervisor. They might have thought I was weak. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't use fear to cause me to confront people in front of everybody when I know, even though the person. And the only time I would do that if it's a threat to someone's life. If someone's life in danger, then I'ma holler, get out the way, move out the way, get undercover or something like that. But don't be afraid of God. Have fear or reverence for God. We don't have to be afraid of God. I knew I grew up in that, to be afraid of God. God is going to strike me down to send me to hell. But once I realized that God is love and love is God, and you can't separate the two, and anything that don't feels like God, feels like love, looks like love, sounds like love, or feels like love, it is not of God. So there's no reason for us to fear God. Religion is bondage, and they keep you in bondage by making you afraid of God. There's no reason to be afraid of God. You should be afraid of not fearing God, though. That's what I think is wrong with this nation and the school system. If we had a healthy fear of God and a way to know, hey, I better do what's right. Now I've seen some preachers say if you give $1 million offering, God will bless you. I believe God will bless me if I give no money, some money, or all of my money. I don't believe that a monetary gift has anything to do with fearing God. And that's an unhealthy way of fearing God, by believing you should give your rent money for God to bless you. No, that's religious bondage. If you have the money to pay your rent, pay your rent. Okay? Pay your rent. I want to say it, don't matter what the preachers say. What I want to say is wait till you hear from God. If God says give your rent money, then do that. But you should not be afraid of not fearing God. It is healthy to fear God. It'll get you closer to God. Praying and fasting will get you closer to God. So don't be afraid of not fearing God. You should fear God, but you should not fear religious bondage. And the closer you get to God, the sooner you'll realize what religious bondage is. And there's absolutely no reason to fear Satan. When you go to church often, you'll hear people say Satan is busy. And every time I hear somebody say Satan is busy, to myself, I say God is busy. Which one you want to give the power to? Which one you want to give your attention to? Where the attention goes, the energy flows. If you want to keep believing that Satan is busy, guess what? Satan's going to be busy in your life. There's no reason for me to fear Satan. Satan has already been defeated. He's trying to give some people the illusion that he has not been defeated, and he can interact and destroy your life. That is not true for me. God is busy in my life, and I'm going to keep God busy in my life. I think about God. I love God. I worship God. I adore God. I have a healthy fear of God. I don't care what Satan is doing. He can do whatever he want to do. I have no fear of him. He can go mess with y'all. But as far as me, I know I am covered by God. I am surrounded by God. God is within me. God is within me. And I speak by God, and God speaks to me. There is no time in our lives where we should not fear God. There is no time in our lives where we should not fear God. The fear of the Lord is very healthy. Fearing God will give you wisdom. Fearing God will give you knowledge. Fearing God will give you understanding. There's no time in our lives we should not fear God. We fear God. We will talk to God every day. We'll read our Bible, study His Word, sing worship songs, meditate, to listen and hear from God. Most religious bondage people will teach you to pray Now, I believe in praying without ceasing, but there are different forms of praying. I see prayer like affection. Um, I can hold my partner's hand if I had a partner, and that's a form of conversation with my partner. Sitting and just watching TV, there's different forms of conversation. And amongst black women, we can have a whole conversation without even opening our mouth. Just a look, a stare, a nod, shaking your head back and forth, body language. All of that comes with conversation. So I have my own relationship and conversation with God. And I have a fear of not communicating with God because God controls everything in my life. Christ rules everything around me, about me, in me, and for me. So because I have that proper relationship with God, no matter what anybody else may say, do, or think, then I'm afraid not to continue to communicate with God. Now, if I was working for a company and the owner of that company was giving me a paycheck, I would have an appropriate fear of disrespecting that owner. Because I don't want that owner to come up with some reason to get rid of me and my check. Now, the owner, even if I did something like that, because I communicate with God, God will give me the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to know what to do and what not to do to keep that check. And if that check go away, it's because of my communication with God. He already has a greater and bigger check waiting for me. I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am strong, I am lovable. Okay, I love you all. Thank you for watching. God bless you. The light of God surrounds you. All is well.